I'm John McAllister with the John McAllister Report. Concentrate on high school football players, but I also like to do interviews with college football players and coaches. But I also like those, especially the guys the guys that I wrote about when they were in high school. It's good to look at, and it's good to talk to them and see a whole different perspective. Well, my guest today is Justin Wodtly from Cleveland Heights High School. Well, he played at Cleveland Heights, and then he went on and he scholarshiped at University of Cincinnati. He's played 2 or 3 years, and I think he's going to enter the transfer portal. I'll find out when I talk to him. And so it's a whole interesting thing for him. I go back to when he was in the 8th grade. So we've known each other for a long time. And, you know, he's always friendly. If I'm in Cleveland at a camp or something, he's always going to come up and talk and say hi. And I really appreciate that. But Justin did really well his sophomore year. And then with the new coaching change, they were thinking about playing more, rotating more players in during games. So his time went down some, but his sophomore year, he had 31 tackles, and he was mixed between the second and third group and did a good job. Share with us. I'm going to ask him questions about the high school, what his advice to high school kids, the college, and all those things. So if you sit back and enjoy my video podcast with Justin Wodtly. And also, please punch the button that you like it. Push any button, that subscribe button, push that, because I'd like to really start building up my audience. Thank you very much. Okay, my guest, as I said earlier, is an old football acquaintance of mine. Met him in the 8th grade or freshman year, one of those 2 years at Lorraine High School, I think. They were playing a tournament. His dad's a great guy. Justin Wodtly, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Is it chilly down in Cincinnati?
It's a little bit. Yesterday was pretty cold. It was in the 20s, but today's back up to about the mid 40s, so it's not.
I'm so proud of you because I saw you in high school up at Toledo, and I didn't think you played very hard. I mean, you were good, but I don't think you played very hard. But you've since obviously done a great job. Great job. And I'm proud of you and knowing you this long and everything. So Cleveland Heights, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me advice. This is going to be an advice column by Justin here. Tell me, what's your advice to high school football players as far as getting the next level or taking the next step? What do they have to do, Justin?
First and foremost is your grades. You know, without taking care of business in the classroom, you know, all the football, all the, you know, playing under the lights, playing in the big stadiums, all that stuff goes away. So the earlier you get on it with your grades, the better off you'll be. So, you know, when you first enter high school and, you know, a lot of people like to goof around freshman year, think that they got a lot of time. And that was something that I did, that if I can go back in time, I'd take care of it more so on the front end. Because once it got time and getting closer for me to get to the next level, you know, it was a scramble. You know, you got to get your GPA right, got to get test scores and things like that. So really just, you know, stay on top of your grades in the beginning, and it'll make the entire process easier. And, you know, attack the weight room hard, you know, and go into practice every day as if your favorite school or your dream school was scouting you at practice. You know, if they had a coach from that school at your practice, and, you know, It'll give you that sense of energy to, you always got to go hard. You always got to practice hard, never take a rep off. And if you do those things, really, the rest really will take care of itself, being with social media, with Twitter and, huddle links and the internet, the recruiting and being able to get your film out is a whole lot easier now. So
Right.
really,
Right.
if you do all the little things with your grades and your work ethic, attacking the weight room very, very hard and just putting your all into the sport, you'll be in a good position.
That's really good. I think it's not really funny, but I always use this to players, to prospects. I said, you want to go in and study really hard your freshman and sophomore years.
Definitely.
Get that GPA up, and then not necessarily coast, but kind of maintain it. But, you have more time to focus on getting bigger and stronger and all those things. But really work hard when you're younger, I think.
Definitely. It definitely makes things easier because there's always going to be a point in time where you hit that roadblock. When you get into your junior and senior year and you run into that class, that's going to be tough. So if you handle your business in the front end, if you hit that class, it's going to be hard. Or if you hit those, those semesters that are going to be pretty tough with school, it makes it a whole lot easier when you take care of business in the beginning.
That's really good. Okay, so then tell me about the recruiting aspect when you were in high school, because you really developed kind of late and got better and better and better. And tell me about recruiting. How should high school players approach recruiting?
Really, going to every school, you never want to burn bridges. So whatever school offers you a scholarship or shows interest, make sure you respond respectfully. Make sure you respond showing interest in that school that reached out to you, because in the coaching world, it's really small. So, for example, with me, the first coach that offered me a scholarship when I was 15 was Sean Lewis. He was the head coach at Kent State. And now, going into the transfer portal now, Sean Lewis is now the head coach of San Diego State. So you never know where those connections, where it could come back to benefit you more down the road. So really, with recruiting and stuff, I say just build as many relationships and use the game of football to give you those relationships to where if you need them more down the road, they'll be there for you to benefit you and things like that.
For sure. I don't talk negatively, and don't, those kind of things, or like you say, burn a bridge, because you never know when it's going to come back to haunt you. Really. And that's really good to hear. And should they go to camps?
Yes. Coach Mack, high school. What was that?
You almost have to, don't you, Justin?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. It allows you to get, the one-on-one coaching that you'll receive at the next level with that specific school or that specific coach, wherever you ever go camp at. But, Coach Mack in my school, in high school, he took us on camp tours. I camped at Ohio State, Pitt, Kentucky, Toledo, a bunch of different schools. And it gives you a chance to get in front of that coaching staff, allows that coaching staff to get their eyes on you in person, and really show what type of player you are. So I love camps. I think they're important. I think they're unique, and it gives you a great opportunity to showcase your talents in front of many schools.
Okay, let's pause for a minute here. Tell me about Coach Mac Stevens.
Man,
I think the world of him. I think he's a tremendous person. I joke with him once in a while. I said he has to get a little bit stronger, but I'm joking there. But he's really a good guy. Tell me about Mac Stevens, how he reaches young people.
Man, Coach Mack, he has that father figure. He's just a guy that he's going to coach you very hard, but at the end of the day, he's always going to have your back, and he's always going to make sure that all the kids that he comes across, whether they're his players or players from another school that need a little bit of help, all the players that he comes across, he's going to make sure you're in the best position for you. And man, I've seen Coach Mack work countless hours, taking people from playing on Friday night and then waking up early Saturday morning and taking kids on, visits to different colleges, and just logging a lot of miles on his car, trying to get, people in better situations. So I have the utmost respect for Coach Mack. Even with this process that I'm going through now, I still, reach out to him for help and things like that and guidance. So Coach Mack, he's a phenomenal guy. He's helped me. He's helped numerous people around me, and to see the things that he's continuing to do at Cleveland Heights, with them going into a new conference and winning the conference in the first year, making a great run into the playoffs, just being able to see the things that he does year in and year out is just, it's motivational, it's inspirational, and I couldn't talk higher of Coach Mack, and not even just him, but that entire Cleveland Heights coaching staff.
They're good. They're good. And I just like the way he carries himself.
Definitely.
He's just one of those guys. Doesn't have to yell too loud, I don't think. I mean, Mike sometimes, but I really respect him. Okay, then you chose Cincinnati, right?
Yes, sir.
That's where you went to college, I think. Tough choice. Was Luke Fickell the head coach?
Yes.
Okay. What was it unique about Cincinnati that you liked?
Coming out of high school, I got really recruited hard by, numerous different schools. And in the end, it came down to Cincinnati and Michigan State. So with me, I loved Coach Freeman. Still to this day, I have a great relationship with him. And being able to get an opportunity to play for him, and seeing that all the things that they were doing here. They had made a conference championship appearance my senior year of high school. They played Memphis and fell short. So I got here. I knew that I wanted to be a part of a winning culture with a coaching staff that would develop me beyond football. So when it's all said and done, everybody's going to have a day where their playing career ends, whether it ends in high school, you get to play a good college career, or you get to have a long career in the NFL is going to end someday. So I wanted to be around a staff that was going to develop me into a man that was going to be able to prepare me for when my playing days were over. And I felt that Cincinnati gave me the perfect opportunity, being in this city here. It wasn't too much different from home, So it was kind of like a no-brainer for me, being around a great staff. And then, those first couple of years, we did some really big things. You win back-to-back conference championships. You become the first Group of 5 school with a college football playoff appearance. 2 seasons undefeated. Third year, you get an opportunity. I think you want to say we were about a quarter or a game away from getting our 4th, consecutive conference championship appearance. So there was a lot of great things we were able to do at this university, and I'm blessed for it.
That's really good. And Coach Fickell, he's pretty well organized and pretty structured, I think, too, isn't he?
Definitely, man. Coach
Fickell, really good coach.
Very intense guy. Very intense guy. I love to be my time
He's
with
a good friend of mine. I watch him, and he's going to be all right at Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Tell me, then I don't know Coach Satterfield. I don't know if I've ever met him, and I may have at a clinic, but then he's there now, and that's be great. Do you know much about the NIL money situations and stuff? How does that work that you know
of? Really, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that eventually I'm going to have to, maximize my opportunities with it. Right. Like I said before, the game comes to an end, so and the possibilities of the next level are definitely something I want to aspire, but it's very limited. So I just want to know that I can use the game of football, use my name and everything to maximize my opportunities of earnings and things like that as much as possible. So I don't know too much about it, but I'm going to have to get on it here soon.
Yeah, for sure. I have a couple more questions. This great interview. You entered the transfer portal, right?
Yes.
I read that or saw that here just a day or two ago, I think. And Okay, you've entered that. What's that about? So people that are listening, what I don't care so much why you went. I just want to know about it. But before we do that, you had a really good season on the 22nd, I think, the year 2022.
Yes,
31 tackles and I forget a couple assists. And then did you get hurt this past season or a year ago?
So this past year, getting with a new staff, running a new defense, our coaching staff thought it was a really good idea to platoon the D line and really play as many bodies as possible. So not really a lot of people got as many reps, as that 2022 season. So we went from in that 2022 year, we had a 6-man rotation to this year having an 8 or 9-man rotation. So more people to split reps with. So, for the betterment of the team, you got to play that role.
Right.
So I was back and forth with the second and third rotation all season. And I feel like that was why I didn't play as much as I did in the past.
Right. But Justin, I thought I did some homework on you. But I thought you had an arm injury or something. Didn't you get injured?
I had shoulder surgery on my labrum after the 2022 season in December. So I didn't miss any season time or game time. I sat out a little bit in the spring, but by the time fall camp came around, I was ready to go.
Okay, because I guess that's what I saw, and I guess having an injury like that, sometimes it's I know they're all healed and I know all this stuff, but it's tough to come back full speed sometimes.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, okay. And really after surgery in December, I attacked rehab really hard, just really trying to, get back. I think I was in the training room a week after surgery, just trying to, do the little arm drills and arm bike and really rehabbing as fast as possible to be able to come back for my team.
Super. I wish you the best luck in the transfer portal. For sure. Now, this is go back to your advice part. Tell it young people. I ask guys, I say, high school players, do you love football? Do you like football or do you really love football? Oh, I love football. I love football. They'll say, yeah, I love football. Okay. A war story, but he played at Michigan last year and the year before, and he's from Ohio. He's from down in Garaway, down in Eastern Ohio, and he told me, honey, he said when he went to Michigan, the first practice, he said, when I was home in high school practice, and we go to practice, go home and eat lunch, hang out a little bit, he said, but we had a lot of time. He said, when I went to Michigan, he said, we got there at 7:30 in the morning and left at 10:30 at night.
Yep.
So, he said, it was like crazy. And then he said, he's did really, really well. Did well. But anyway, tell me give advice. What are the biggest changes for college?
The biggest transitions from the high school level to the college level for me were really the structure. You're lifting, you're in that facility, like you said, 7:30 to about 7 o'clock at night every single day. So this is more of like a job. In high school, you go to school all day from 8 to 2 o'clock. Then you got practice at 2 hours. At the end of the day, you get to go home, do whatever you want to do. When you get to this level, it's more like a job. So you got to train the right way. You got to attack the weight room. You can't slack off or do anything like that, because those results are going to show on Saturday. Everybody's on scholarship. Everybody at this level is good. So you really have to change your mindset and really attack it in a more of a professional way. So come to the weight room, make sure you're getting in the training room after games, because your body's going to be sore and you got short weeks to, recoup and get back to, the healthy way you were before the prior week. So really just attacking the facility and everything in a professional way, and really scheduling, so if you don't set your schedule in the right way and you don't organize your life, it's really, really easy with school, practices, meetings, lifting. It's real easy to get unorganized. So really when you come in early, make sure you set a schedule for yourself, follow that schedule, put the right food and stuff in your body. And yeah, it turns more into a business from here.
And the ones that stay are usually the ones that love it, right?
Yes.
There's a big difference between liking and loving, I think.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, man. When you gotta love this every day, man. Especially in the off season, it gets ramped up 100 times more difficult. You got mat drills, attention training. You got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do lifts in the middle of the night. So it becomes more strenuous and it becomes more difficult, but it shows, who in that locker room really wants to be here, who in that locker room really loves the game, and who in that locker room is really to give it all for their teammates and the guys next to them.
That's really good. So I really appreciate you taking the time here. I know you're a busy man, taking the time to do this, and it's so informative. And I can see little 8th graders and see them. It's so rewarding to me. How old are you? 21 or?
Yes, 20? I just turned 21 in June.
Okay, so I've known you for a few years.
Yes, sir.
And that's really good. I think it's so important. And then one more thing, it's something I've always preached, is I think it's so important to give back to your community. And I'm sure you will do that in some way, somehow.
Yeah, actually last summer I had a camp up at John Marshall High School, a free youth camp for the city. I had about 150 kids show up. So I'm trying to make that an annual thing that I do every year. So
super. Justin, again, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Okay.